Welcome to Elliott's PT podcast. I'm here to help you find your balance and live your best life guilt-free. I don't believe there is a one-size-fits-all approach for health and fitness. We're all different and we need to find out what works for us. I'm passionate about helping people make realistic, long-term lifestyle changes that they will stick to and they will take with them forever. I don't believe in crazy diets or short-term fixes. We all need to live and find a perfect balance in diet and exercise that suits our individual needs. I want to help you find your exercise mojo, feel great and achieve wonderful things. Here is Elliott's PT podcast by Renae Elliott. Hello, and welcome to Elliott's PT podcast. Today's podcast, I want to talk about some principles for loving your body. There's some things I want to go over, frequently asked questions that I get asked, things that we do a lot of as part of the Little Black Dress Project and the other things that we do. So I thought it would be really good to go over some of the principles and the things that I'm looking to put in to get you to put into place so then you can find something that is realistic and you can stick to for life. All right, we're going to get started on it straight away. So I wanted to go through a lot of questions that I get asked. I get asked them quite a lot. And I just thought it would be really good to bring to your attention some things that we go through as part of the project. So I get asked questions a lot that are really irrelevant. So, and it's just things that everybody's focusing on these little things and they're focusing on these little things and they think that it's these things that's going to make all the difference, and it's actually not. So they're focusing on things like, that everyone's overcomplicating them. And they don't need to. So they're focusing things, well, if I do 3 workouts instead of 4, is that going to ruin my results? If I don't hit my macros every day, is that going to ruin my results? Does that mean I'm going to fail? Or if I eat 3 meals instead of 4, are they all the things that are going to stop me? Well, no, they're not. People are zoning in on these things. They're saying they have to be precise instead of looking at the bigger picture. And we want to look at the bigger picture because that's the thing that is going to get you the results. So people say they come against a roadblocker saying, well, I don't want to count my macros. I don't have the time to track my food or any of those things. But following your macros is just a tool. So that is a tool. And as part of the Little Black Dress Project, my aim is I give you a toolbox and I teach you all the things in the toolbox and then you learn how to manage it. So you learn how to manage it yourself so you can go into that toolbox at any time you want and you can pick and choose those things that work for you. So this program is not something that you have to be exact in. So you don't have to do this or you don't have to do that. Because there's nothing, if you don't do this, then that means you're a failure. Thing is finding something that works for you. And everybody is focusing in on these little things instead of looking at the bigger picture, which is the things that's really going to get you the results. And consistency is the key. And then when people are stuck in this mindset, that's the thing that is just keeping them at the same spot and they're not actually changing because they just, this didn't work, I'm a failure, it's never going to work, and then they just stay there and nothing actually changes in the end. And then people are saying things like you have to work out this amount of times, or you have to take these supplements, or you have to eat this exact meal plan. Well, all of that stuff is just sales tactics to try to teach you something or to try to make you buy their product or any of those things, but it's not actually giving you the foundations that you need so then you can learn to manage it yourself. And so you can lead that healthy life that you want to lead without feeling any guilt. You can have lots of energy and feel good about yourself. And all those little things that I was going on about before, they're all just distractions. They're all just distractions and reasons that people feel that they've not done the right thing, or reasons they feel that they've failed, and reasons that they have to keep them stuck, and you don't need them. As part of the Little Black Dress Project, I teach you the foundations. So I teach you the foundations so then you have the tools that you can carry with you for life. There is a good saying, and it is that tactics are always a manifestation of your mindset in that moment. So when you have done things previously, do you really think that by eating 800 calories a day, is that something that you realistically can stick to for life? Is that something that you're going to be able to lose weight and then be able to keep it off? No. Really, 800 calories for your body is not sustainable. Or are you going to join a multi-level marketing company and have their shakes and their bars and only eat that and not eat proper food? Is that something that you can realistically stick to for life? And deep down, you know that, but everybody is just coming from that mindset of that they don't feel good about themselves. They're lacking energy. They want that quick fix. They want that change, but they feel frustrated, tired, and you don't want to be in that body anymore. But the thing to understand is that it doesn't work long term. And I see lots of people that have tried those things and they do it, they might get quick results, but you end up putting on more weight after, and it doesn't work long term. It does not work. And it's that mindset that you are in the moment that is charging you to do those things, because you just want that quick fix. But I want to remind you, those things are not going to work long term. So, and I want to focus on where you are at mentally. So what is your beliefs? What do you believe about yourselves? What is the things that have got you to this space? Because when we work through those things first, then that's when you're going to get results, because you're going to feel better about yourself and start making better choices when we dig that a little bit deeper and work out those things. And when we focus on your beliefs and where these things are coming from, then you can really work out what works for you. Can you hear my dog in the background? He's chewing a toy. Okay, so instead of focusing on these, we can then focus on the smaller details, but it's digging deep into this stuff first, and this is what we do as part of the Little Black Dress project. So I have some rules or some guidelines that will be beneficial to everybody. If you are thinking that you are that you would like to be on a health and wellness journey, if you would like weight loss, if you'd like to increase your strength, any of those things, these are some of my guides. So my number one tip is to start focusing on what you're putting in your body. And just to have a basic awareness and care for the things that you're putting into your body, and value things on how it makes you feel. So for me, I always look at foods of how it makes me feel and what's going to do the best for my body. And it doesn't mean that it has to be only vegetables and fruit. It's also that in times I want to have a cake with my kids on the weekend. I want to, on a Sunday, my favorite thing to do is we go to Nippers, and then after Nippers we get hot chips and we have a milkshake, and I don't feel guilty for having that. I enjoy it and I love that, because that time with my kids is precious. And but I have awareness of what I'm putting into my body and how that makes me feel. I also love cashews, but cashews bloat me like crazy. So I don't eat them because I don't enjoy how that makes me feel. I like to have a drink, but I don't like to have too many drinks because I don't enjoy how that makes me feel. So I value my food on how it makes my body feel, not on what I think is going to make me lose weight. So, and it can be for any type of food. So there is no good or bad food or right food or wrong food. It's just looking at valuing the food as to how it makes you feel. And that's what we go through as part of the project. The next thing, my next tip would be to expand your horizon. So your time horizon. So lots of us are looking for this instant gratification. So we want to get results quick. We want to see it quick. And if it's not coming quick enough, then that means it's not working and I need to chop and change and do something different. Well, and the more that you can understand about your body, so when you understand things about your hormones, how they play effect into your weight, and how you're feeling. When you can understand your that there's water retention, the more that you can understand your body composition. All of those things, they're things to take into account when looking at your weight. I weighed someone today and her weight had stabilized, but she had put on muscle. So, she'd put on muscle, which meant her body fat percentage had came down. All of those things, her measurements had all come down. But if she went on just the scale had it actually had gone up a little bit, but she was actually better off in other things. But we go through all of that and I help you understand that as part of the project. So we also look to delay that instant gratification. So you can look at things from the bigger picture instead of focusing on those small things, because lots of times when we're looking at those small things, then we feel that we're failing or we're not actually getting to where we want to be, where you actually are, you've just given up too early. So I want you to not lose sight of the long game, okay, of the bigger picture. And so when we're focusing on the small things, we're just focusing on that, and then you're forgetting and you're not actually realizing that it's the bigger picture that's going to get you. Focusing on the long game is going to be the thing to get you your results. Okay, my next little tip is to move your body more. So one of the biggest parts of the project is to get 12,000 steps a day. I've had lots of people that have done things with me, and I have just increased their steps and they've got great results. They've not changed their food, they've not changed their training, they've just focused on getting more steps and moving more during the day. Lots of us have sedentary jobs and we're at desks all day, but the fact of moving more makes such a difference. It makes a massive difference to your results. So if you are looking at lots of people ask, what do I do if I'm wanting to start a new fitness regime or anything like that? I recommend to start walking. Just move more. Move in any way that makes you feel good and makes you feel good about your body, because all of those things, they're stress relief, getting out in the sun, do anything that makes you feel good, but just move more every day. My next tip is to pursue strength. Okay, so get strong, focus on weight. So this is a major motivator for me. Lots of research shows that by increasing your strength, it does give you longevity in life. But I think of increasing my strength because I want to live a life and not be debilitated by losing muscle or any of those things. So, and the stronger that you are, it affects so many other parts of your life. So the more strength you have, if you lifted a heavier weight than what you've ever done before, you feel more confident. We stand that little bit taller. We feel better about ourselves because we know we've achieved something. So increasing your strength is massive. After the age of 30, you start losing muscle unless you're actively working on it. So make strength a priority. So for me, I want to be strong, not because I want to be muscly and bulky. I want to be strong because I want to do basic things. My gran is in her 80s and she struggles to lift things over her head or grab anything over her head because she doesn't have strength in her shoulders. She struggles to sit down and get up on her own because she doesn't have strength in her glutes. So prioritize having strength in those areas for longevity, because it makes a big difference. And the more when we do things and that you feel increase what you're lifting or those things, it's really empowering, really empowering. My next tip is to stop dieting. Stop dieting. Cut it all out. Get rid of those diets or the default diet. So people have plans that are like, oh, I'll just default to this because this worked before. And I'll go back to 800 calories a day, or I'll go back to eating only certain foods, only vegetables, or, and not eating a balance of food. So stop all that crap. The dieter's mindset is the thing that is keeping you stuck. So, and living in a state of constant restriction is stressful. It's stressful on your body, it's stressful on everything, and it's exhausting. And we are not here to be constantly battling hunger. We're not meant to be like that. So the dieter's mindset is not serving you. And if it worked, it would have worked by now, and it's obviously not worked by now because you haven't got the results that you want. So it's just not good for you, and so we want to get rid of that. It's totally the thing that's keeping you stuck. My next tip is to start prioritizing yourself. So I know lots of mums who struggle with this one. They struggle to put themselves first because they feel that makes them a bad mum or anything like that. So and stress is a thing that wreaks havoc on your results. Stress is I call it the silent killer. So people that think that they need to eat less or over-exercise, restrict, don't have rest days, any of those things, that's all adding extra stress to your body. Then they, having kids is stressful, having work is stressful, family, partners, all of those things, they are all stress on our bodies. But as part of the project, we are trying to teach you how to learn to manage that stuff. So it's my dog. Okay, and I see so many mums that put everyone else first instead of them, and they think that their kids should come first, and that's what a good mum would do. Where in fact, if you are putting your kids and everyone else first, you are actually giving them a watered down version of you. So that you're giving them a mum that is drained, tired, lacking energy. And so why do we do this? Because we think that makes us better. It makes things harder. So if you actually learned, or people feel it as a badge of honor, they feel that makes them, but it doesn't. The thing I always try to remind everybody is that your brain tries to keep you safe. So what's familiar to you is what your brain will think is good for you, but it doesn't necessarily have to be good for you. So change is always scary. So starting to put yourself first is a scary step forward, but trust me, when you start to do that, so many other things will flow and you'll feel better for it. Instead of your cup always being empty, your cup's going to be fuller, and then you can actually be a better mum for your kids. You can be a better version for all the people around you, better version at work, all of those things. So I know we say things, but my kids need me, or I have to do this. Well, all of that is a lie, because there is enough space in your time, in your day, for everything. And you just need to learn how to prioritize that. And that is something that we go through in the project. Lots of people, they just want to hold on to this comfort zone because that's what feels safe and familiar. So if you are not putting yourself first, if you are not your number one priority, then everyone else is suffering, and that's a total fact. So they are suffering because you are doing them a disservice, because you're not giving them the best version of you. You are giving them a watered down version. It doesn't make you a bad mom. It doesn't make you a bad person. Putting yourself first is you're also teaching your kids to do the same for themselves. It's really important. My last little tip is to challenge your excuses. So we have those thoughts, and the thing to realize is that those thoughts are not fact. So we have thousands of thoughts a day, and most of them are actually not fact. And we need to start to challenge those excuses. So it's okay to accept an excuse as valid. So, but it doesn't change the situation. It doesn't change what needs to be done. And you are still in control, and you need to take responsibility of that and know that you are in control. You can say things like, it's not fair, the odds are stacked against me, it wouldn't work for me, I have bad genetics, I'm in menopause, all of those things, and they are all excuses. They are valid, but they are not the reason, and you can move past them. And you can take control, and you can take charge of them, and not let those excuses hold you back. So challenge your thoughts. So when we have those thoughts, I'm going to ask you to take a minute to think about this, and to take a minute and think, is this really the situation? So is this really the situation? And try to be a bit logical about it, and think when we remove the emotion and we actually look at the fact. So I know lots of people struggle with, they feel like they eat some food and they might have a hamburger. So they eat a hamburger and then they feel guilty for it. They think, well, I've stuffed up my diet. So it's not worth, I'm a failure, I'm a bad person, I can never stick to anything. But in truth fact, if we actually look at the fact, you've just eaten some food. So you've just eaten some food, eat the food and move on. So when we start to challenge those excuses, and you'll realize that those excuses are not serving you, and they are keeping you in the same spot, and they are keeping you stuck, and we don't want that. And it's keeping you in those predictable patterns that our brain keeps wanting us to be there, because that's what it thinks is safe. So, but it is up to you to take responsibility. So everything that happens in your life, you can take responsibility for. And you take responsibility, and you can you decide how it goes. So if we were in a car and we had a car accident, and a car went up my bum, then that, yes, that's not my fault, but there are some points that I need to take responsibility for that. So I chose to be on the road, so that's where I can take responsibility for. I also need to take responsibility of making sure I get my insurance sorted out and those things. So, and it can be a very vulnerable place to let go of those excuses and to challenge them and to take responsibility for things, because we've not done that for a long time. It can be very vulnerable, and it can feel hard, and it is unfamiliar, and we will have the constant voice telling us to go back to what was familiar. But when you start to do it, it's empowering. And then you realize that you can actually do anything when you just start to believe in yourself and you put your mind to it. Your excuses are that ball and chain that are holding you back. They are holding you back, but you can let go of that and you can take charge. And lots of people will say, if you are thinking that you would like to be part of the project, lots of excuses that people may have to not join could be things like, I don't have the time to do this. It won't work for me. I'm never lucky enough to get those results. I can't afford this. But all of those excuses are keeping you in a safe, and you can stay in that safe, comfortable position and nothing will ever change. So you could stay there for your whole life, but that's fine. You just need to choose. You need to know that that's the choice that you're making, and you're choosing to stay there and not make a change and not step out of that comfort. And as scary as it is to take that first step forward, it will make a massive difference. Just take that first step, and that first step is always the hardest step, but you will never look back. So tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. is the last time to join the Little Black Dress Project. These are some of the things that we go through as part of the program. When you join the program, this program is continuous. It doesn't have an end date. So when you join the program, you are a member for life, and you will always be able to join in future cycles and be part of the program. And it can be done anywhere. So tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. is your last day to join. So don't miss out. Take that step forward, get out of that comfort zone. And if you have any questions, make sure that you message me and ask me, and I'll be there to help you. Have a good day. Thank you for listening to our podcast today. Please make sure that if you are interested in joining any of our programs, we have our new one starting in January. There is a 21-day kickstart at the start of January, and at the end of January there will be opening the Little Black Dress Project. You can head over to the website and you can sign up on the wait list to make sure that you are the first to know when the program's open. There is only limited numbers to join, so make sure if you are interested or you have any questions, you let me know. Remember, no matter where you are, everything can be done virtually, so no matter where you are, we will be able to help you. Have a great day.